In today's tutorial, we make a magic spell book. Today's tutorial for this spell book is the first in a series of magic books, whether they're potion books like you see in Harry Potter or haunted books in some of the witch movies or Army of Darkness, but this one is a book of power, and it's all the secrets of the Illuminati. You read this and you can take over the universe. Oh, and it has a light on it, so I'll turn the light on. So the eye glows. Turn this light off. Let's get started. Okay, for this project, for the spell book or the potion book, we're going to need obviously a book. I'm not a big fan of destroying books, but this is just a compilation of magazine articles and it's missing a bunch of pages. I found this for like 10 cents at the thrift store, at the Goodwill. So I'm using this book, also a flameless candle, and make sure that the candle, after you cut the tip off, is deep enough to fit inside of the book. For the corpsing, we're going to use a regular glue, water, and trusty old prison toilet paper, without a pattern, the cheapest you can find, and a little piece of burlap, and this is just to get the strings out to make some stitches I'm going to make on the book once it's corpsed. And the last thing, if you want to make this particular book, is an eye, a follow me eye, like that. And if you want to know how to make this, I have a tutorial for it, and I'll put the link right below in the description. Let's get started with this guy. The first thing I'm going to do is to find the center here where we're going to put the eye. So I'm going to just measure and mark the middle of the book. Once I have that marked, I'm going to outline the rough size of the eye. Now that I've put the outline of the eye, I'm going to cut about a 1/4 inch inside, another circle. There you go, there's the hole. Okay, now we're going to draw that line in the paper here so that we know where to cut and recess the candle. I'm just going to mark the middle and then put the candle right there in the middle where we need to cut. There you go. I'm going to leave this step for last. Now we're going to take the eye and glue it onto the book. That's a great start right there. For the corpsing, we're going to take our trusty institutional toilet paper and rip some of it out. We're going to take our glue and water and just mix them on a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, all we're going to do is just brush some of the mixture on the book and then lay some of this toilet paper on top. As wrinkly as you can so it gets some cool wrinkled skin texture. I'm going to corpse all the way to the edge of the eye. I'm not doing the eyelids yet. I'm going to go ahead and fold these over and put something here while it dries. I am going to let this coat dry for a few hours, and then we can put another layer and we can do the back as well. This first layer is now dry. So what I'm going to do now is do the, the eyelids on the top and bottom, and then I'm going to make my triangle for the all-seeing eye. For the top of the eyelids, what I'm going to do is take a piece of toilet paper and just twist it until it's like a little piece like this. And I'm just going to glue this right here, like an eyelid. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to just cut this excess off right here. Now I'm going to get the top and bottom, a little bit of the glue and water solution to make it nice and sticky so we can corpse this side of the eye while attaching the eyelid to this little thing we just put on. I just folded this little piece of toilet paper and put it right on top of the little twisty piece that we just put there. Now I'm going to attach it with a little bit more of a glue and water mix. And the more wrinkle it is, the better. Now let's do the other side. There you go. That eye is starting to look really creepy now. The next thing I'm going to do is to mark the triangle of the ever-seeing eye. So I was thinking maybe about, let me see here, about 1.5 inches from the eye. So it'll be somewhere like there. All I'm doing is putting a triangle around the eye. Now that I have the triangle drawn, I'm just going to twist some more toilet paper, and we're going to put a line like this over that triangle we just traced. The best way to do this is to put just a drop of glue so that you can anchor this first piece, and then do the other end. Once it's dry, we just trim it. Now I'm going to do the other two sides. Now I'm going to put 2 more ridges right here. So it's another triangle, but then they're going to come straight out of the triangle. So it looks like a piece of skin here, a piece of skin here, a piece of skin here, and this patch with the eye. I'm going to anchor that piece right there. Once that glue is dry, I'm just going to put another dot right here so we can get a nice strong angle that looks like the skin has been stretched across the book. I'll do the same on this other 2 sides. So there's the beginning of the 3 pieces of skin. For this next step, we're going to do the next layer of corpsing. I'm just going to carefully tuck in between sheets, in between the 2 lines, so it looks like there is a division there between the 2 pieces. We got this with a second layer of toilet paper. So now I'm going to take this loose ends and just fold them in and glue them in place. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to put a layer, 2 layers of toilet paper in the back, just plain wrinkled all the way covering the back, so that we can finish this corpsing, and then we're going to let it dry. Okay, this book is now dry, totally dry, front and back, totally corpsed. So the next step that I like to do is to take some exterior latex paint. This is black, and just coat all of it except the eyeball, of course. And I know it sounds counterintuitive to start with black if you're going to paint this skin color, but I like to start with that dark color and then dry brush towards a lighter color. Also, if it's counterintuitive to start dark, you can see that these gums that I made on the last tutorial, they started as black, and then I dry brushed over it with different shades of red, pink, orange, and to achieve that gummy color. The other thing is that the latex paint will give this like a nice little rubbery shell that makes it more durable. It protects this paper that you have just corpsed the book with. So I'm going to paint front and back, let it dry. The book is nice and dry now, as you can see, front and back. So now we're going to start the dry brushing. I'm going to start with a deep red color, almost like a blood or flesh color, and from there we're going to go lighter and lighter and lighter. This first layer is dry, as you can see. So let's get started with that dry brushing. I have finished the dry brushing on both sides. This side's a little bit darker, and then this side's a little bit lighter. So now, to make it a little bit shinier, and a little more skin-like, I'm going to take some Mod Podge, pretty much straight out without dissolving it, and some food coloring to make a nice brown stain. This will give it a nice shiny coat. I'm using 1 drop of each. Green, yellow, red, blue. All I'm going to do is just paint all over it. So it'll be kind of like a glaze. It's going to dry clear, but leave it all nice and stained. We are going to let this dry for a couple hours until it's nice and shiny, and then we go on to the next steps. Alright, check it out. That is with the glaze that has dried already, so it gives it a little shine to it. And I like how it feels too. So now I'm going to take something like this, if you can see that, and start making holes through the 2 pieces of paper that are supposed to be the 4 connecting pieces of skin, so that we can put some stitches there. Once we have all the holes done, I'm just going to take some of this burlap and just going to pull some strings out. Like that. Like this. We're going to use this to stitch the pieces of skin together. But before I start stitching the skins right here, I'm going to take this blood colored nail polish and just run a tiny little bit in between the 2 pieces of skin and let it dry. And then we can start stitching this all together. So there you go, there's a little bit of blood between the pieces of skin. So now we're going to sew these together. Okay, my wife gave me that needle. She said it's a needlepoint needle. It's pretty short with a big eye on the back. So I'm going to start stitching the pieces of skin together. Alright, this is done. We're done with the stitches and everything. The only thing left to do is cut the hole in here so we can recess that votive, which I will cut the wick off, and that should fit right in there. I finished cutting the hole into the book, and it goes pretty deep so that I could recess the little votive candle. And what I did with the candle is I took a knife, and all I did was put the knife on the edge like this and started turning it until the flame part, this part you see right there, got cut off nice and safely. So all it left was the LED. Now it closes perfectly, and now let's turn this on so you can see how it works. That is on, but let me turn the lights off. You see that? There you go. The secret book of knowledge. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that tutorial. That was really easy. It took a little bit of time and work, but it was easy to do. And I think it turned out great. If you think this is a good tutorial and it was pretty cool and you learned how to make a spell book, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time.